Hey y'all, so I'm L'Ariel Lipkins. I'm the founder of Vision Boards Over Brunch, as well as a published author. So here's my first book, A Woman with Vision, How to Fulfill the Goals and Dreams that God has given you. Right? So it's all about how do you actually achieve the goals and not just keep recycling the same goals year after year, right? Because we've all been there. So after I wrote and published this book, in less than 90 days, I had a ton of people, or at least one person every single day, that was DMing me on Instagram, asking me questions. How did I did it? How did I do it? What was my biggest challenge? How did I get started, etc. So instead of continuing to answer those questions one-on-one, I thought, why not just make some videos to answer all of those questions that people have? So in this first video, what I want to talk about is the importance of understanding your motive. Now, all of the other videos that you're going to see, I'm not going to necessarily put them in order, but this is the first video that you want to start with. You want to identify what is your motive for wanting to write a book. So I'll give you my personal example. I had writing a book on my vision board for 3 years before I actually did it. And so one of the common questions I get is, why were you able to do it this time and not the last 3 years? And it was really my motive. Before, when I had it on my vision board, the reason I wanted to write a book is I just always wanted to write a book. And I seen other people writing books and I figured, hey, I could probably do that as well. But the reality was, at the time, I was working a corporate job. And based on the work I was doing, even if I had written a book at that time, I wouldn't have been able to publish it, right? Just because of the type of work I was doing. And so when I left that job in 2018, November 23rd, 2018, not that I'm keeping track, but when I left that job, it was shortly after, a little bit after the first in 2019, where I started writing the book. But now I had a motive, right? So I knew that the reason that I wanted to write a book was not only because I wanted to share my story, but it was really going to be the thing that was going to really launch my business or relaunch my business. And so I want you to take a second right now and just think about, why do you want to write a book? For some of you, it's going to be because I want to share my story. And that's good, but you have to think about, is that strong enough for you to get up early, stay up late, invest the money, invest the time to make it happen? And if it is, that's fine. But if it's not, then you probably need to dig a little bit deeper and saying, okay, well, why do I really want to share my story? Right? For others of you, it might be similar to me. You want to write a book to launch your business, or you want to write a book to use as lead generation. Or perhaps you're a speaker, or you want to be a speaker and you want to use your book to really help you book speaking engagements. You want to establish your expertise or deepen your level of expertise and credibility. And you believe that writing a book will help you do that. You want to be able to get your message in people's hands, right? So maybe you have an online business and you want to give them something hard copy that they can hold, touch, feel, write in. That may be why you want to write a book. It doesn't matter what your motive is. You just have to know what your motive is. And you have to know, is that motive strong enough? Right? And honestly, that's a decision that you have to make. So whatever you define as your motive, you have to say, is this motive important enough for me? Is it strong enough for me that I'm going to be willing to put in the time, the money, the effort, and the energy to not just write the book, but then actually publish it and sell it, right? And so just take a second and think to yourself, why do I really want to write a book? And try to go a few levels deeper. So why do I want to write a book? Because I want to share my story. Okay, well, why do I want to share my story? Because I want to be able to inspire and impact people's lives around the world. And why do I want to do that? And then once you get to like level 3 or 4, you'll really get to what I call your core why, or your true motive. And that's what you really want to hold on to as you're going through the process of writing a book. Because although I did it in 90 days, start to finish, I know that's fast, right? So I wouldn't even have the expectation that you're going to do it in 90 days. If you do, great. But give yourself 6 months, 6 months to a year to really flesh it out the way that you want. But regardless, you need to know what your motive is. So do me a favor in the comments, drop in what is your motive for wanting to write a book.